welcome to today's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're going to be looking at a puzzle by one of my very, very favourite constructors. This is a new puzzle by Clover. Now, Clover is absolutely wonderful. Every single one of her puzzles is just a joy to me to solve. She has this incredible knack of sort of finding new ideas, building puzzles around those ideas that really flow. And, you know, I've never done a bad puzzle by Clover, so I'm sure this is going to be wonderful. It's called The Knot, and it's just a normal killer Sudoku by the looks of it. Now, what I haven't done is run this puzzle through our testers, which is perhaps a bit daft, because it does mean that I have no clue how difficult it is. So you'll have to judge from the length of the video how hard I found this puzzle, assuming I've managed to solve it at all. Clover's puzzles normally are, I'd say, on the easier side for Cracking the Cryptic style puzzles. But she has been known in the past to throw particular curveballs at us, particularly in the realms of killer Sudoku. I think there was one called Everest or something that I remember. That was very challenging. So I'll read you the rules of this one in just a moment. I don't have much news for you today, just I suppose a reminder that if you do enjoy our content, you will certainly enjoy our apps. And there is a new app out which includes lots of free puzzles and also the opportunity to download Domino Sudoku, which is our brand new app. It's been over a year in the making. It includes puzzles by people like Clover and people like Fistmafel and people like Codec. So it is absolutely wonderful and, of course, very different from all the other Sudoku apps out there because of the handcrafted content. So I definitely commend that to you. Try and remember to put a link on the screen, but please don't get cross with me if I forget. Now, what are the rules of The Knot? They are as follows. Why is it called The Knot, by the way? Is it because it's a very regular grid, isn't it? In fact, it is incredibly regular. Is it? Yes, it is. I think it is rotationally symmetric. Well, yes, it is. It's 180-degree rotationally symmetrical, which is very cute. But I still don't know why it's called a knot. It might be something to... Oh, yeah, I suppose if you know those big fisherman's knots you used to get? I remember I had one of these made for me once when I was a boy, and it was absolutely amazing. Yeah. If I highlight all these cages, I think that's going to look fairly pretty. Yeah, that looks like a bit of a knot, doesn't it? Yeah, very cool. Anyway, the rules are as follows. Normal Sudoku, rules apply. In cages, digits must sum to the small clue in the top left corner of the cage. Digits cannot repeat within a cage. So let's make sure we understand that. So that means that those 3 digits there sum to 7. But what we can't do is something like this. Because although these ones don't seem to break the rules of Sudoku, in the sense they're not in the same row, column or box, they are in the same cage, and that's not allowed. So don't put the same digits in the same cage and you'll be good. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. And I'm very tempted to start with, in fact, there are 2 3-cell 7 cages I've spotted. Let me just see if there's any more. No. Okay, a 3-cell 7 cage, given we have to have different digits in it, it must be 1, 2, 4 each time. So we can do that. A 9 cage in 3 cells could be... It has got 3 options. It can be 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 6, or 2, 3, 4. A 23 cage, that must be 6, 8, 9. And okay, there's also, look, some quite large U pentominoes in the grid that only have 1 option each. So a 35 cage in 5 cells must be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and a 34 cage must be 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ah, so that's not 4. Is there something going on? Well, we could go fairly ham on the pencil marking here. Because obviously, if we know that those 5 cells are 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, I know these cells are 1, 2, 3, and 5. Actually, I probably might want to... I'm just wondering if we're going to get something like a quadruple in row 3. Okay, here is a small point. Where do those 2 digits go? In row 3. Now these two digits obviously can't repeat in their box, so they're not in those 3 cells. They don't seem to be able to be in these 4 cells because they're definitely 6s, 8s and 9s, so they must go in those cells. So that is a 6. Well, these 2 cells here are from 6, 8, 9, and they are the same as these 2 cells. I'm not sure if that's doing anything. Obviously it gives me a triple in row 3. And it tells us that 7 must be in one of those 2 positions. I'm not sure if this is important, but I'm going to record it. Now I'm tempted to look at this box because I've got something similar going on, haven't we? We know these... yes, okay. These digits are 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so those 3 cells can only be from 1, 2, 3 and 4, and now I have got a quadruple in column 3. And this is an interesting quadruple, because the 3 in this quadruple is definitely in the 9 cage, which means that cell's not a 3, and it means this 9 cage is either, well, it's not 1, 2, 6 anymore. It's either 1, 3, 5 or 2, 3, 4. Okay. Can we do something good with that? Probably. I'm not quite seeing how to do it though. So these digits in column 3 are now all mighty digits, aren't they? They're all 5, 6, 7s, 8s and 9s. I'm going very ham on the pencil marks here. But now those 2 digits are quite restricted. Yeah, in fact they're absolutely hugely restricted. What are those 2 digits? That's a good question. Now, if this digit is not equal to 6, let's say we made this digit 8, then because this digit is at least 5, this digit would have to be a 0. 8 plus 5 is already 13. So that must be a 6, which means we've got a digit. And now this cell, actually, because it now can't be 6, it certainly can't be 7, because then this would be a 0. So that's a 5, which means this is a 2, and we've got loads of digits now. So this is not a 2. This is not a 2 or a 5. So, this is lovely. Right, so now there's a 5 in my 10 cage, look, because this was a quadruple on 1, 2, 3 and 5, and the 5 in that quadruple is now in the 10 cage. So this digit has to be from 1, 2, 3 and 4, because we know that the 2 digits in the 10 cage that are not equal to 5 must sum to 5 to make sure that the overall cage sums to 10. Now, is that doing some work? Possibly. I sort of feel like there's some sort of quadruple developing here, but I can't see how to do that. Okay. Oh no, now I was thinking then I got a quadruple in column 1, but I don't think I do. So how do we make more progress? Now that's not 5 or 6, so this is 7, 8 or 9. There must be a 5 or a 6 down here. Oh no, sorry, not 5. We've got 5 in the column. There must be a 6 down here. Okay, and now I'm stuck. Maybe I've got to pencil mark this digit. This digit, that could still be 5, couldn't it? Yes, if this was a 1-3 pair. Okay, so it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. I suspect it hasn't got all that many options though. If this is 4, this has to be a 2-3 pair. So that would work. If this is 3, this has to be a 2-4 pair. And, okay. If this is 3, that doesn't work. Because this would have to then not... Well, in fact, look, we can see that immediately. There's a 3 in here, so they can't repeat 3 in the cage. Remember what I told you about the rules. I should obey them myself. Now, if this is 2, that has to be a 3-4 pair. And that would have to be a 1-2 pair, and then I couldn't put... Yes, okay, where does the 4 go in the 7 cage? It's got to go vertically in column 3. So there's no 4 in those cells. Yes, so now this digit, look... In order to make this triple add up to 9, this can't be a 1 or a 2. So this has become a 4 or a 5. Oh, okay. And Still not quite enough, is it? I feel like we're on the cusp of something here, but we haven't quite figured out how this works. Let me think about this. So if this is 4, this is 2, 3, this is 1, 4, and that's a 2. If this is 5, this is 1, 3. Oh, no, okay, sorry, I thought that was going to be useful, but maybe it's not. Ah, this is discombobulating. I can't quite work out what's going on. I feel like there's something going on around this corner. And it's not clear to me how I use these other U pentominoes at the moment either. So I know these add up to 11. And I know these add up to 10. So, hang on a minute, there's something nagging at me here. These add up to 11. So whatever this digit is, if this digit is 4, this has to be 1, 5. If this is 3, this needs to be 2, 5. 1, no, which it can't be. Again, this doesn't seem to be able to be 3, because if that's 3, this has to be 2, 5, and that would make this have to be 1, and this have to be 1 as well, because this is 3, forcing this to be 1, and that won't work, so that's not 3. Hang on. I don't know. I'm getting this feeling that I should be focusing on this cell somehow. I can't work out I can't work out why. It's infuriating. I suppose we can do maths on this, can't we? If I know those cells add up to 11, and these 3 cells add up to 10, then whatever I put in this cell, so whatever I put in that cell, if I put 1 in here, because these add up to 9, I know those 2 cells would have to add up to 1 more. Yeah, they have to add up to 1. Is that always true? So if this is 2, this is 8. Yeah, so whatever I put in this cell, these 2 cells have to add up to 1 more than whatever I put in this cell. So this has to be 4, doesn't it? No, it could be 2, and this could be a 1 here and a 2 here. Yeah, so what this can't be is 1. If this is a 1, these 2 cells have to add up to 2, and they'd have to both be 1. That doesn't work. So this is a 2 or a 4 now, which presumably, when we combine that with 5, means that, so we've either got 7, we've either got a 5 and a 3 here, or a 5 and a 1 here, so there's never a 2 in there. So I've now got a 1, 3, 5 triple here, which means that cell is a 2. Good grief. So that's not a 2. So this is a 1, 4 pair. This is a 2, 3 pair. And if that's a 2, 3 pair, that digit there is a 4, and that's now a 2. And that tells us that this has to be a 3, 5 pair, which makes this a 1. And we're sort of working out how this works now, although I still don't feel I've quite got to grips with it. So I've got a whole load of Sudoku digits in now. Do I know what that is? 4, 4, no, there's a 4 in one of, yeah, and you can have 4 in the 30 cage, so that's fine. Let's get rid of the 5 pencil mark in the 10 cage. And think about this some more. So, this is weird as well, because it seems to have just died a death. It's like the top left of the puzzle is a different puzzle from the bottom right. I can't see anything communicating. I mean, obviously, if I knew there was a 2 in this 31 cage, it would be very powerful, but I don't think there has to be. This could be the 2. So perhaps what I've got to do instead, these add up to 15, and this is 4. Yeah, this is weird. This is weird. This is a 30 cage. Those add up to 15, but those three add up to 14. Isn't it exactly the same in all of these situations? I've got a 34 cage here, which means these add up to 11, but the cage that sticks out of the box adds to 10. So the cage that sticks out of the box always adds to 1 less than the balance of digits. Oh, God. Oh, that's it. Oh, I'm such an... times. Oh. Right. Right. It's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? It's absolutely beautiful. I'm just checking in my head that what I'm about to tell you is true. Oh, it is just lovely. Oh, my goodness me. Right, the way to do this puzzle in about 2 seconds flat is to, and I could have done this right up here. It's the key is these 7 cages. Oh, it's just world-class fooling of Simon is what it is. Okay, so how can this cell be a 1? That's the question I should have asked about all of these. These digits is where the magic is in this puzzle. Those 4 cells. None of them can be a 1. And the reason's really clear once you hypothesize that one of them is a 1. And it's to do with the fact that these cages here have a difference that's one lower than the box total. Because, of course, what this means is if we try and put a 1 here, these 3 digits now have to sum up to 14 to complete the box. And that's, I suppose I should, of course, talk about the secret. The secret is that a whole box of a Sudoku adds up to 45. So if this adds up to 30, and this is a 1, those 6 cells add up to 31. So these must add up to 14. But we know that these, at the same time, also add up to 14. Well, these 2 digits are in common. so whatever you put there, in order to make sure this also adds up to 14, you will have to put there as well. Those 2 digits will have to be the same. It doesn't work. So you can never do this in this puzzle, ever. So that tells us that this digit can't be a 1. Now let's check the same maths. I haven't done the maths on this box, but it is the same. Yeah, look, these cells add up to 14 to make sure the box adds up to 45. So that tells us that these, if this was a 1, these would add up to 13, but those add up to 13, and that would force those 2 digits to be the same number. So that won't work either. So there's a 1 here, and we could have got these 1s absolutely straight away if I'd spotted the trick, which I failed to do. Ah, right. This is so... Right, and this just breaks the puzzle open now. Because now look, where do I put 1 in this box? Well, it can't go there and it can't go there, so it's in the U pentomino, which means this U pentomino is 4 digits that add up to 29 and a 1. Well, there's only one way of making 4 digits add up to 29, and that's 5, 7, 8, 9. So this is a 1. Does that work here as well? Yes, it does. That's a 1 is forced into this U pentomino, so that's got to be 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm failing to type that correctly, and a 1. So now the 2 is forced here, look, by Sudoku, which makes that a 4. And these digits now have to be 3, 4, and 5. I'm looking at that as if that's going to completely reveal what's going on. This digit must be under a bit of pressure, I think. In fact, we can just run through the options, can't we? If this is 3, this is 4, 5, and that would have to be a 4 again, so that's not 3. If this is 4, these 2 squares have to be a 3, 5 pair, and that would make this square have to be a repeated 5. I hope 5 works, or I've broken the puzzle. 5 makes this a 3, 4 pair, and that has to be a 6. At least that doesn't give us a repeat in the columns, so that's useful. So does this 6 do any magic? Maybe not actually. That's a bit strange. We can get rid of 6's there. I can get rid of 1 from here. Oh, the 5 does magic. That gets me the 5 and the 3 and the 3 and the 4. Okay, so this is not 4. So this has to be a 7, 8 or a 9 in the centre, completing a triple in column 5. And probably, to be honest, what I'm just wondering is whether I could, once I knew this was a 1, did I know that was going to be a 1? I can't remember what we had pencil marked in this box. We probably could have got the 1 here, and then, I don't know. I can't remember how much damage it would have done if I'd immediately just worked out this 7 cage had to have a 1 in the corner of it, but it probably did mighty damage, and I just failed to spot it and cross with myself. Okay, these squares are 2, 3 and 6, and therefore again we can get an idea of what this digit's options are. If this is 2, this is a 3, 6 pair, which is 9, so this would have to be a 5, and it can't be a 5, that doesn't work. Okay, if this is 3, this is a 2, 6 pair, and that would have to be a 6, and you repeat the 6 in the box and a 6 in box 5. So that I think has to be a 6. It's a 2, 3 pair in row 5 now, and that has to be a 9 to make the box add up, which means that is not a 9, these are not 9s, these are not 9s, that's not 9, that's not 9, and in fact that's not 6 either. And that's not 1, so I've got a 5, 7, 8 triple in row 5. 6 in the 23 cage can be placed. I've got an 8, 9 pair here, so that does more damage to this cage. Yeah, okay, and there's a 20 cage in box 9 that must have an 8 or a 9 in it, or both. Well, now you can't put 8 or 9 in those cells, so that must be an 8 or a 9. Which probably matters, although I can't see how immediately. Okay, how do we finish this off now? I feel like we've almost discovered the trick now, and it should just be a matter of Sudoku, which can trip me up to finish the puzzle off. Maybe this 20 cage, if that's an 8, then these two squares have to add up to 12 without using 3, 9 or 4, 8, so that would have to be 5, 7, which doesn't work. That's lovely. So if this is 8, because this would have to be a 5, 7 pair, both of those digits would be a 1. So that's a 9. So those two squares are not 9. These two have to add up to 11, and they're not 5, 6, and they're not 3, 8, and they're not 2, 9. So that's a 4, 7 pair, which means this is a 1, 5 pair, which is probably important. We get rid of 1s and 5s from these squares and 5 from this one. So I've now got a 7, 8, 9 triple. So where does 7 go in this box now? It's got to go here. And that cell's a 4 of all things to complete this row. And I can't see if that... Well, that's probably these two digits now. They've got to be a 2, 3 pair, although they don't seem to be resolved. And these two digits as well, they've got to include 8 and 5. Yeah, okay. So you can see that this can't be an 8. So that has to be 5. This has to be 8. 8 can't live in any of these cells in the bottom row anymore. Is that a quadruple? I think it is. 1, 6, 7, 9 in the bottom row. So the rest of these digits in the bottom row are 2, 3, 4 and 5. So that is 2, 3 or 5. And these are 2, 3, 4 or 5, and that's not 2. Oh, that's weird. I thought that was going to blow the puzzle open. So the only cage I think I've not thought about is this 14 cage here. Oh, the 4 and the 7 are resolved though over there, so that gives us more digitage. Got to put 6 in one of those two cells, not sure if that's going to matter. Okay, let's investigate. Oh, that can't be 8. If that's 8, these two cells have to add to 6, but they couldn't use 1, 5 or 2, 4, so that is either now 6 or 7. Now, if it's 7, this would have to be, oh, it can't be 7, because that would have to be a 3-4 pair, because it couldn't be 1 6 or 2 5, and it can't be a 3-4 pair because that cell has neither of those options. In fact, perhaps that's the simpler way of looking at this, is to ask what this digit is, and you can see it's got to be at least 5, and then combining with that, these add up to at least 11, which means the maximum value of this cell is 3, and it can't be actually equal to 1 or 2, so that is 3, that is 5, that's 6, that's great. Okay, so that's lovely. 5 can come out of these two cells by Sudoku, and these two cells, and that's a 4, that's a 2 in the corner, no song, that's a 3, that's a 5. And we've got to put 1 in this box, it's got to go there. This cell's got to be, that's got to be the 7. This has got to be an 8 or a 9. So now that cell's got to be the 6 in row 7, and that cell has got to be a 2. And I think we're almost home and hose now. That's 1, that's 3, that's 2. Have we done it? We've got an 8-9 pair in column 1, so we can do some eliminations there, look. We've got a 5, 6, 7 triple here. We've got an 8, 9 pair here. So the top digit of this column has to be a 7, if I'm not mistaken. That gets rid of all sorts of 7-age in the top row. 8, 9 pair now in this box means this is a 3, 4 pair, which we can, and that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Yep, that is a 3 in the corner. Well done, Clover, for putting that in the puzzle. That is a 7, 8, 9 triple. So hopefully the middle box is going to do some sort of magic now to finish this off. 6, 6, sign of the devil. That's got to be a 6 there. This is a 5, 7 pair. Okay, how is everything getting resolved here? It's getting resolved by... not sure. Don't know. Is it? Can I do these 2, 3? Oh yeah, look, there's a 7, 8 pair in row 5, so that's got to be a 5, that's got to be a 7. That's given me an 8, 9 pair in row 6. So these digits have to be from 1, 2, 3 and 5. So yes, so the question we should ask is, where does the 2 go in row 6? This 2 rules it out of those cells, so it must go here. So that's 2, that's 3, that's 3, that's 2. 3 is placed in box 5 by Sudoku, and the other cells we've got to put in this box now are 1, 5, 7 and 8. Let's actually fully pencil mark it in the hope that all will be revealed. That's not 5, and that's not 7. Oh, there's this 8, 9 pair here as well, isn't there? So this is 1 or 5 only. I can't quite see whether this resolves. That can't be a 4. There must be something going on. What is it? It's 4, 6, 8 up here. Yeah, where does 4 go in column 6? It's got to go there. So that's a 7, 8, 9 triple, and that's a 6. So these are not 6. And has that done something magical in column 4? That's a 6 by Sudoku in box 8. The 7 here is what's doing everything. There you go. That's 9. That's 1. That's 5. That's 1. That's 5. Here we go. So now this is a 7, 8 pair. This is a 1. And this square is now... This is a 7, 8 pair. This is a 7, 8 pair. So 9 goes in at the top of the grid. 8 goes here. 9, 8... we know that this 6, 8 is the same as this, don't we? So we can fill that in, which we could have done by Sudoku, but I did it by orangeness. This 8 means that's 9, that's 8. Do we know what these are yet? Apparently not. This 8 does the 7 in the middle, so that fixes everything on the left-hand side of the grid and at the bottom. And now that's got to be 7, that's 8, and that's 9, and that's how to solve the puzzle. Absolutely wonderful, that is. I'm actually really tempted to just start again. I want to just think about this thing I've discovered with the ones. So if we just think about this point around where the ones can go in the 7 cage, we worked out immediately that you can't put 1 in any of those positions because of what happens to these digits. So we could immediately have said these were 2 4 pairs, put 1s into these cells. Now, yes, it's perfect. It's so crisp, because now, of course, the 34 cage and the 35 cage can't have 1s in them. So we could immediately have put 1s into those squares. Now, oh good grief, right, now 1 can't go in the 9 cage. Well, there's only one way of making 9, that's got to be 2 3 4. The puzzle's just going to collapse. You can't put 1 in the 10 cage, that's got to be 2 3 5. Oh good grief. Okay, I'm not sure quite where it goes from there, but you can see it's mighty powerful. You get the quintuple there, you get the quintuple there, and probably it all tidies up in a slightly smoother way than I managed to solve it. But what a beautiful puzzle that is. It really is. That is quality, clever stuff. And again, Clover just delivers. She's obviously had this idea around the difference between these cells here and the cage, and giving the opportunity for these little red squares to be 1s, and allowing it to be ruled out with this little trick. Just blows me away. Do let me know in the comments how you got on. Let me know if you spotted the trick, how quickly you spotted the trick, and let me know how much you enjoyed the trick. Please do. I know Clover will read the comments, and she deserves all the plaudits in the world. So, loved it. Again, thanks for watching, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.